When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Within the gaming world, there are your general gamers, but then there are those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming. If you're one of those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming, we certainly got the place to send you. Scorpion Lair Games. That's right, Scorpion Lair Games is the creators of the true crime hit Killers, the card game. Let's not forget they also have Killers Clothing Company, their profiler game, and things like the 5-Minute Murder channel on YouTube. And we certainly can't forget the new book that is certainly a hit, Beyond the Headliners, True Crimes, Myths, and Legends. Make sure you visit Jeff and the Scorpion Lair Games on Facebook and everywhere today.
Hi, I'm Alex Montilla, the filmmaker behind Friday the 69th, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, these next guests are involved in this debut feature by one of our guests. And it's a first ever period piece feature, entirely shot on an iPhone, some would say.
What?
We're not going to Google that stuff, because Google, they're not a sponsor, so I'm not going to say we're going to do that. But this is a slasher comedy paying tribute to bottom shelf horror films of the early 1980s. The film is Friday the 69th, which embraces the charm of low-budget horror and DIY spirit of films while delivering a bloody, fun time for fans of cult cinema. Let's welcome writer-director Alex Montilla, I apologize for the pronunciation, and Robert P., who acted in the film.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
doing great. How are
good.
you?
All right. Yes, I need alcohol at this point, but fuck it. Uh,
Perfect.
Scotch. Yes, insert the clip here of Ron Burgundy.
I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly.
But, uh, gentlemen, so first and foremost, Friday the 69th. Where did the concept come up with? Rob, how did you get involved? Take us to the beginning of this project.
So I came up with the idea because I wanted to make a movie on my phone with my friends, and I wanted it to be. It didn't matter how bad it was; it would only improve the movie itself. The worse it was, and so I came up with an idea of amateur porn stars making a slasher movie, and that way it could be, very bad, but that would just make it better. And then, yeah, that's kind of where the idea was birthed. And then, Rob, how'd you get involved? Rob Zapoto.
I
Poto.
It's
uh
Zoppo. That's what it's.
yeah, yeah, Rob Zoppo. I met Alex at a rep party for a short film, and I Alex was the karaoke host, the DJ of the rap party, and I got up there, sang some songs, and then I had a friend of mine who, the director of the short film, his girlfriend was friends with Alex prior. So they connected us, and then Alex had sent me the script, was like, hey, can you read this? Let me know if you're interested. And as soon as I read it, I loved it. Super clever, really funny. And I've said this before, but like the way that he wrote it, it was very easy for me to visualize the scenes and the characters. And I always think that that's when it's laid out for you, and it kind of pokes at the imagination, I'm interested, and I thought it was really well done. So that's how I got involved. And then Alex and I met in person and we went from there.
Thanks, Rob.
Well,
That was nice.
so sweet. Now, I guess you got to be sweet back with this question. But how was he as a singer?
Oh, he puts on a show. So like, with karaoke, it doesn't matter if you're a good singer or a bad singer. You just can't take it too seriously. You need to have fun, right? And so Rob definitely has fun with it. He's definitely not the worst singer I've ever heard.
I would say
Um,
I'm a 5 out of 10 singer. Do you think that's accurate?
So I have to be honest because everyone asks me questions after karaoke. They're like, "How am I?" I press play to the track. I listen to where your voice is. I adjust the microphone, and then I stop listening. So
Cool.
as I recall, you were completely fine. So 5 out of 10 sounds about right.
Yeah. I'd say I'm about a 5 out of 10.
Beautiful. I had to go there since it had to deal with karaoke, and I'm sure it wasn't being played on the original set. Don't ask me how I know with laser discs. But anyway, yeah. Long story. That's over a
Are you
cocktail or
are
two.
you in are you in Pennsylvania?
I am in Philadelphia. Yes.
Yeah, I hear the accent because Rob's from Baltimore, so that accent's kind of all similar to me.
Hey, yo, bunch drunk. Never mind. Because if I keep doing that, I'll lead to another impersonation. It'll get me canceled. No, we don't want to go there. But
Going down to
rumor
Ocean.
has it wouldn't be the first time. But I heard there
Hoagies.
was oh sandwich shops. Damn it! Get
Sandwich.
the what's it? Get the pickles on the cheesesteak now, like they say in Florida. Uh,
That's where I'm from.
or the yeah. Uh, so putting this project together, was there some flexibility and improv with doing this project?
Rob should probably take that one because I wrote it. So
Um, yeah. I mean, there was moments, right? Like I'm sure Alex will touch on it, but there were things that, we did it the best we could with what Alex, the time he had, the resources he had. So I'm sure there were some folks who, we crammed in a bunch of dialogue in a short period of time. So perhaps it wasn't 100% to the script. I think most people did a great job with the dialogue, but I think there was, there could have been some things that were ad-lib that just were thrown in there. But there was some improv that done by me that I threw in there that Alex just appreciates so much. And it was as simple as a fuck you, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
brilliant.
Anyway, it's a little, reference to the final scenes, but yeah, I would say it was more so to script. I think mostly to script, but moments of play and like, try it, let's see what happens. It was very loose and fun.
I think you nailed it, which is we didn't have a ton of time, so we pretty much had to hey, do what's written as best you can. And yes, sometimes, that involves ad-libbing or adjusting, making the line your own. But yeah, for the most part, we stuck kind of to it. But if someone had a good idea, I was always open to hearing it. So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. There might have been a scene shot at the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, which is timely for me because we got a couple of fans down in that neck of the woods currently. So, besides doing that shot, what other influences would you say were involved in putting this project together?
Well, so it's funny. Yeah, my friend at the time worked at it's a restaurant now, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre House. And so she invited us to shoot a scene there. So we did. But, it's not really, they're very different movies. It's not a super big influence on this movie, even though I love it. But yeah, I watched every slasher movie from like the 80s I could find that's kind of obscure. So, I watched the biggest influence, obviously, is Friday the 13th, because structurally it's very similar. But then Cheerleader Camp, Twisted Nightmare, Blood Rage was kind of towards the end. The Dorm That Dripped Blood, The Burning. Like I watched every slasher movie I could possibly get, and there's a ton I'm not even naming, and I may have even gotten some of the titles I named incorrect. But yeah, I watched so many and just took notes. Any little funny thing, like there's the line in the movie that I stole from a movie that I forget the name of, but I'm sure someone out there knows it. But when he goes, "You're not one of those lesbos, are you?" Like that's just directly from another movie. And I was like, that's funny. And I just wrote it down. So there's so many references to kind of early 80s slashers all throughout the movie, just stuff that I saw and absorbed and ripped off.
Well, Robert, what is your horror background? Were you a fan? Are you a fan? And were you one to pick up on the references? Because it sounds like Alex obviously has several references.
So it's funny because this has become a reoccurring theme for me. I had seen plenty of horror films, probably more the modern ones that like when I was middle school, high school. I keep going back to like The Ring, and then you got like the Conjuring films. Like those were like the modern ones that like when I was young and then a teenager in college, like very pop culture-y, but that's just all I kind of knew. Like I didn't know the slashers and the horror films and like how big the genre and how much the fandom was of the 80s, 90s, 2000, like, particularly the 80s. Like I didn't know much about it. And I had never been in a horror film before. I mean, again, this is probably more of comedy, but horror comedy, and it alludes to the references, like have all the the characterizations and the themes of all those slashers and horror. So like when we went to, I'm wearing it right now, the Calgary Underground Film Festival. That's when I learned just how big of fans certain folks are when they were referencing Bruce Campbell and telling me that I reminded them of Ash from The Evil Dead, and I didn't know a thing about it and didn't know what they were saying.
But
So
every
now
time they said it, you would just go, "That's right,
I was
thank
like,
you."
yeah. And since then, it's not like I never pretend to know something I don't. I'm just like, no, I really don't. So prior to this, the knowledge was minuscule, if any, at all. And now I've since done my homework because the film has done so well. I think just being around the folks at Calgary and being immersed in like all these film festivals that we've been to, having the discussions, it's like, wow, people really love this. And I appreciate that. So now I'm kind of doing my homework. I'm going back, watching the Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Now and then I'll just continue to watch the franchises so that I know what I'm talking about. And ideally, we continue to make these films or in this genre. And I love it. At this point, I love it. So prior to this, I was a phony for sure.
Well, speaking of the Calgary festival, how has the response been at the festivals this movie has been seen at so far?
Yeah, it's been mostly very good. Calgary Underground. I mean, I keep telling everyone I could have a film play Sundance, and I'll never have an experience like Calgary Underground. It's just it can only be tied. It can never be bettered. That experience. We had 300 and something people, I think, in a theater there, and everyone they laughed at every little joke. They got every reference. The Q&A was really fun, and for like an hour afterwards, Rob and I are shaking hands and taking pictures, and things that came from that festival professionally have been the best things that's ever happened to us. So that festival in particular was great. And then we've had a lot of really good responses, a lot of really good reviews from all the other ones. There is the one I brought up enough times that I guess we can keep talking about, but there was one in Portland where the people who liked it were great, and the people who ran the festival are nice, but a lot of people walking out in the middle of the movie. And I think it depends on the market you're in, and I guess maybe we're not quite Portland material, but yeah, we had a lot of fun at a lot of these festivals, and even Portland was great and a lot of fun for us. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just to even just I don't know. I'm at a point where we've gotten some pretty surreal. We've had some surreal moments since it's only been since April, right? And so Alex sent me one of the letterbox reviews the other day, just like, hey, this is kind of nutty, but from Phoenix, what did it say, Alex? And we were in Phoenix, so just some context. We went there. That was the first one all of us went in person.
It was
And
it was the U.S. debut. It was at the Phoenix Film Festival. They have the separate horror festival, and yeah, and this letterbox review says basically, they asked me to vote for my favorite movie, and behind Obsession, Friday the 69th was my second favorite, and I voted for that because Obsession's going to do fine or something like that. Meanwhile, everyone kept talking to us about this movie Obsession. We're like, cool, sounds fun. I don't know anything about it. It's this little indie movie called Obsession. And everyone kept comparing our movie to it because of their marketing and our marketing. And now having seen Obsession blow up, it's insane to be compared to that at all. But also because we're so different movies. But, it's very cool to be spoken in the same breath as them and have anyone involved with that movie have any interest in ours. And it's been crazy. But
And what I was going to say about Portland, or I'll say Oregon in general. I know it's a different audience and such, but I am not going to say a word because there might be somebody from the Friday the 13th franchise who lives in that neck of the woods. And they might supply me with alcohol from time to time. So I am not going to rip that audience. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, the people that were there that stuck around, like they were great and all that. And I'm honestly not even mad at the people that left. It's just kind of a fun anecdote to be like, I was literally standing next to the door and people just kept walking past me, and like a couple people would see me and I'd see them look away, or one lady looked at me and went, "Congratulations" on her way out, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I understand that the humor is not necessarily for everyone, but it was just a every audience has their own personality, and so that is just an interesting thing that we had with one audience. But like, I'm not mad at them. I'm not holding it against anyone. I want to be very clear. They were great, and we had a great time. But it's just very,
the
very
theater
fun.
was freaking rad.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. I do feel guilty
was-
that this keeps coming up because I feel like it's going to get back to them that we didn't like it. But that's not the.
Yeah. It's just like the reception from some of the festivals, particularly Calgary. It was a riot. 300 people. You couldn't hear some of the lines because people were laughing so hard. And then, but it's been cool. It's been a case study of different reactions from different folks in different communities, and you learn something about people from doing it. So it's been nonetheless like just a great learning experience.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first feature, so I always knew audiences were kind of different, but with a feature, it's like a different experience every time. You're watching the same movie, but depending on where and when, and what was before you and what's after you and what time are you playing and all these different factors. It's a living organism, the audience, and so to have the different experiences has been really interesting.
So obviously, Alex, I know you were the writer, director, editor. You had a part in the movie. Robert, obviously, you were in the movie as well. Did you have any other roles besides acting in the project? Because obviously, when you're put the film together for under 15,000, it feels like it'd be a all hands on deck kind of thing.
Well, let's think of the role. So I had my truck, so we would lug some equipment around. So
I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say it, but yeah, no, he was transpo.
I was transportation for some of the equipment.
Most of the equipment.
Most of the equipment, and I held the camera for a scene. Well, I actually pivoted the tripod for a scene.
You did a pan, yeah, yeah.
For a little bit.
When I'm on camera a couple times, I would have to ask people to do stuff with the camera.
Yeah, so I did the little whip pan. Other than that, I was there for moral support, and since then I've been Alex's cheerleader when he's self-deprecating. I'm his cheerleader and morale booster.
If I may speak to that for a second, yeah, I've said this before in other interviews, but Rob has become the best collaborator you could ask for with this process after the fact. Like, I tell him, hey, there's an interview in the middle of the day. He goes, yeah, great, I'm in. He wants to get the word of the movie out there, and he was helpful with everything I needed while we were shooting. He's even more helpful with everything now, and I know he likes the movie and he's proud of the movie, and he's out here to help me get the word out. So he's been awesome. That's a huge role though, is having a partner in crime for all this, and he's been traveling with me when we go to different festivals, and I know that's not cheap. So thanks, Rob.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm gonna put him on a spot, but I got a fan of the show sitting in the wings and the reason I don't think he has any questions, but I want to put him on a spot because last night I let him check out the film as well, being a film buff and horror guy and all that stuff in general. Just to have a outside voice so I checked my email this morning. It was all positive. But John, what did you think of the movie last night?
I liked it. I thought it was a good, fun tribute to other horror movies, and but also liked the idea that it was a movie within a movie. Like you guys were doing the read through of this other script, and we saw it as an audience unfold, and much to the horror of the other guy who the script replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely some laugh out moments. Yeah, yep.
Thank you. It would have been much funnier if you just chimed in and went, "Not for me," and then just tuned in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
Take two. Take two, okay. And not for you.
Yeah, it sucks. Come on. What are you guys thinking?
What, do you live in Portland?
Yeah. Kid, actually.
Yeah.
What part of Canada?
Ontario.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, we're hoping to get out there for Toronto, or not the Toronto, but one of the Toronto festivals.
Okay.
And yeah, John, you should have said, yeah, I'm from Portland, but Portland, Maine, not Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. Different coast.
That way. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Oh, boy. So, I know. See, I could get myself into trouble. We'll leave that alone. But, Alex, I'm curious, since you handled the editing, and like I said during the introduction, filmed on your phone and such, how did this, I guess, is the editing nerd in me. How did you get the old school vibe to the film and make it look like it was shot in the late 70s, early 80s, etc.?
So, I shot it on this phone, which Rob loves when I do this. And there's a rig that I have. It's like a case you put the phone in, and then you can screw a depth of field adapter into that case, which goes onto the phone, and then you put lenses on that. So just by nature of that, it gives it kind of this old vintage look, and that was part of what prompted the idea to do the movie as a period piece. Because it has, I know I say this every time, but it's like a creamy look to it. And so then, just shooting the movie in a similar style to those movies was a big part of it too. Like you'll notice there's not a lot of moving shots. It's kind of panning, tilting, stuff like that, but there's not like dolly shots or anything, which I could have done, or a gimbal or any of that stuff. I have all the equipment. I just purposely shot it like you would see those old movies, which is a lot of wide shots, two shots, and slight moves, but nothing too crazy, which also made it easier to shoot quickly. And then in post production, there's a company called Dehancer that has a program to emulate film, and so I could choose film stock and film, color spaces and film grain and scratches and all that. And they were great to me and let me use the software to do all that. And so yeah, shout out Dehancer.
And I guess final question on that part is, I guess a lot of it had to do with gaining experience in editing rooms of studio films. Now, for perspective for the time frame I'm talking about, we're talking Hot Tub Time Machine, The Muppets, also producing ESPN stuff. So there's a lot of editing rooms and different experiences you got. How much of that influenced in what you did to put this project together?
Yeah, so I did a lot of editing in college. Like my job in college was editing for a website called bikini.com, by the way. And it was like swimsuit models doing interviews and stuff. It was great. But that was my job, was editing. So I was always editing. Moved here and was lucky enough to, yeah, get a job working on Hot Tub Time Machine. But, I was the lowest man in the office, and I was mostly getting coffee and stuff. But occasionally they would let me edit little things, but I would watch their process and how they would do things. And actually, funny enough, the biggest thing that Hot Tub Time Machine in particular, the biggest thing that translated here was Hot Tub Time Machine was like right at the tail end before everything went digital. And so we would edit for reels, because it eventually was going to get printed to film. So we'd have to do reels, which I think were like 11 minutes or whatever they were. And so editing this movie to make it feel more like film, I put like the cigarette burns and timed it out so that again, I think it's 11 minutes. Every 11 minutes was a reel break, so that the projectionist would switch to the next thing rather than having these long things that bled over in between the reels. Because that was part of my job on Hot Tub Time Machine. A side note, by the way, I had to take a film print of Hot Tub Time Machine and drive it to the Van Nuys Airport to get it on a jet to go to Harvey Weinstein, which is pretty funny now in retrospect. And then from the Muppets, I got to just learn and watch, a lot of the editing process and a lot of the studio stuff. And honestly, it was kind of on that movie where I realized that I didn't really like the studio stuff, especially because I wasn't progressing. I felt like, I can be doing this. Why aren't I able to have creative input and all that? So that's kind of what started the idea of going to do stuff myself. And that led to my short film Overkill. And then that was a success. And that, my idea after that was to do a feature. And so it took me a little while, but eventually we did this movie.
Right on. So, to put a bow on this episode, what do you guys got coming up for the rest of the year? And obviously, I know you've been doing the film festivals and things like that, but are we expecting this film to be on digital or streaming? How's the release going to be for the general public?
Well, I'm in a movie called Pellet that's coming out sometime next year. No, that's Rob. He'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, no, our movie, I've been very fortunate and surprised and lucky and all the words that we have distribution offers So I've been talking to companies and trying to figure out the best course of action. But yeah, it sounds like we're going to probably do a theatrical road show of some kind. So, you know, check our website and our Instagram, Friday69th.com, and then Friday69 Film on Instagram. And we'll be updating that with dates. And you can come see the movie and come meet us. I'm sure Rob will come to some of those with me. And then yeah, it'll be digital and all that stuff and streaming, and it'll be out there, and hopefully it builds an audience and people get to see it. And but yeah, in the meantime, it's playing film festivals and a lot of overseas film festivals coming up soon. So come check it out. And it's playing in Philadelphia, by the way, which is where you are, playing the Philadelphia Unnamed Film Festival. So go check it out there in a couple
I
weeks.
will.
Yeah,
Robert,
I'm
what's up
hoping to
with you?
make it.
Let me know.
I will.
Nice. Robert, what's up with you?
Yeah, so I'm riding this wave and just enjoying it. I think it's been awesome. Like Alex was joking, but I have a couple other features coming out. The thing with this one is I'm very involved with Alex. We talk all the time about it, so I feel a little bit more hands-on with this back end process. I get to kind of know what's going on. Alex fills me in. I get to join these interviews. So I'm really invested because I'm in, Alex said, a film Pellet, which is going to be a great film. I don't know when it's coming out. It's supposed to come out soon, but I don't, and then I have another film.
I keep
What
hearing
Now?
about it, so I'm really looking
Yeah.
forward to it because I've already heard about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think as an actor, it's like you do things and you just sit and wait, whereas this one's out and people are loving it, and I love the film personally. I love it. So I enjoy talking about it, and I enjoy talking to people about it who like it. And I believe that it's going to have a great shelf life. I think it's going to live on, and great things are going to happen afterwards, whether it's a sequel or whether it's other films, because people are a fan of Alex's work and some of the cast. And so I enjoy whatever happens from this film moving forward. But I audition a lot, so auditioning for some pretty big roles, and just kind of doing the actor deal. Audition a bunch, get told no a whole lot, and then book a few here and there, and hopefully they're real good, and they project into the future and boost my career. So it's good. I cannot complain. Being an actor is kind of hard unless you're Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or The Rock. They're shoo-ins. So you're just trying
Moana
to
just bombed, so
yeah. Yeah. So I'm in a good place in my career, and I I would like to be a producer and an actor in the films that I'm in moving forward, because you can control your destiny a little bit more. So that's what's next for me.
Right on. Well, make sure everybody you go check out the Instagram, the website for everything. I'm also putting your personal IGs out there so people can follow you. Gentlemen,
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
You are gonna need a bigger closet when you meet our new friends.
What?
Our friends over at Silk Screams out of Buffalo, New York is a diverse owned company that has a variety of shirts to fit your needs.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Let's also not forget that Silk Screams also runs the semi-annual Buffalo Horror Garage Sale, which has tons of merchandise, celebrity guests, and tons of fun. Check our friends out over on their Big Cartel site to order stuff, or on social media for updates on merch, or on the Buffalo Horror Garage Sale. Visit our friends, like I said, at Silk Screams today.
Yeah, baby.
Hey there, I'm Rob Zoppo. I played Billy and Rock Hardigan in Friday the 69th, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio.